This week's all-new episode of Legends of Tomorrow was called White Knights, and it found the team in Soviet Russia during the height of the Cold War. They figure Vandal Savage will no doubt be here trying to kickstart a world war unless they can stop him. But even to find any of what I just previously said, they need to steal important files from the Pentagon. Man, it sure would be nice if, for all these heists they're pulling, if they had a guy who, I don't know, could shrink down to microscopic size to go unseen. I mean, too bad they don't have one of those. Now, sadly, as with everything this team seems to try and do, it all ends up in disaster. During their escape, Hot Girl even ends up freaking out. Apparently, Priestess Shaira is angry inside her, even though in all the flashbacks we've seen, Shaira has been really cool and mellow. This means that White Canary, who dealt with her own personal murder demons last episode, gets to play big sister and help Hot Girl work through her problems. Meanwhile, the boys are working on finding out about Savage's new Russian superweapon. When Adam strikes out trying to seduce a beautiful Russian scientist, it's all up to Captain Cold to make the save. Once again, proving Captain Cold is the only person on this show who actually manages to get stuff done. Oh, and he steals wallets, lots and lots of wallets. Elsewhere, Rip Hunter is forced to come face to face with one of his Time Master bosses, who berates him, saying his crusade has been a total failure so far. One of his team is dead, and he's nowhere closer to avenging his family. Obviously, we as the audience are supposed to side with Rip, but I hate to say it, Time Guy makes some solid arguments, saying it's going to take them years just to undo all the damage that Rip has done to the time stream already, and that if Rip just gives up now, they'll go easy on him and send his team home. Now, this all ends up being an elaborate trap, which even Big Dummy Heatwave saw from a mile away, this leading to another big fight with Kronos wherein Jack gets hurt. Hey, remember back in episode 1 where he and Dr. Stein buried the hatchet and had a speech about football and teamwork? Yeah, it turns out they're still mad at each other. Jax is mad about always being told what to do, and Dr. Stein is mad that he never listens. A classic father-son squabble, further complicated when Jax's own father is mentioned. While we do get a cool monologue out of this bit, I could not help but feel both of these men should be so over their problems by now. And wouldn't you know it, Firestorm ends up being super important because Vandal's big super weapon is actually an army of Soviet Firestorms, which he never would have created if Firestorm didn't give him the idea in the first place. Yeah, once again, our heroes must clean up their own mess. Seriously, at this point, the whole Legends team would do less damage if they just stood still and stopped trying to do anything. Every week now, they seem to keep handing Vandal new and interesting ways to kill them. This all leads to a major standoff with the Russian military, where Captain Cold goes all John McClane and ends up being the only one to escape. Rip, not wanting to jeopardize the other half of the team mounting a rescue mission, decides to leave them be for now, even though we all know next week they're just going to mount a rescue anyway, so what's even the point about this? It really says something about you as a hero when the super villain with a rogue's coat ends up acting more heroic than you do. I really did hope Legends of Tomorrow would get over its initial jitters and come together. Sadly, 4 episodes in, and that does not seem to be the case. White Knights was yet again filled with the team bickering like children, despite saying numerous times in previous episodes that they were gonna stop and work together as a team. Basic logic is ignored, like the Atom for some reason not wearing his suit on an important mission, or Dr. Stein not being able to absorb radiation while a machine was turned on, but then he just sort of does it anyway. Rip by far ends up looking the worst here, a wishy-washy leader in a show where he's kind of the main character, but not really. The only shining star is once again Wentworth Miller as Captain Cold. His motivations make sense, he's consistent every week. Sadly, I have to give this episode a 5 out of 10. I really hope they can turn things around for the second part of what looks to be a 2-part story. Hey everyone, thanks so much for watching my newest video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you'll feel like checking out some more videos I have on offer here at Cape Joel.